There used to be a song that I had called Clover Salad that sounded like that. And I guess I took a break from playing it for so long that I forgot that the song ever existed. I remembered the name eventually, but I couldn't remember the notes, the chords, and the melody of the song. And then about a month ago, I found a video in my Google Drive of me playing the piano, the public piano at a Gold Line station. Good morning, Kit, and good morning, Jelly Star. But I saw a video of myself playing piano at the Gold Line station, and I was playing Clover Salad. And I was like, oh, what is that? I haven't played that in a while. And then suddenly I remembered that the name that I was remembering and the song that I was hearing were the same song. And so I've been trying to relearn my own song by ear. It's one thing that's kind of good, or making it a little bit easier to relearn the song, is that I am me. So I do have kind of like a style or a way that I play piano that's comfortable for and natural to my hands. And so a lot of it isn't, a lot of it is pretty intuitive. Because my hands will naturally do what's easy or natural for me, and that just so happens to be what most of the chord progression is. There's a note missing there, though. That part's gonna be harder to remember. Oh, maybe not. I'll get there. There it is. Close. I'm gonna come back to it in a minute. Until then, how was everybody's Monday? I ended up making oh, there's a bee trying to get into my room. Yeah, sorry. How's everybody's Monday? I ended up trying to make an Instagram chat yesterday, Monday, and it went okay. But then I got too busy. I got too busy to be active in it, and then I ended up deleting it. Something I didn't understand is if I delete the chat, does it just delete it for me or does it delete it for everybody if I'm the one that made it? I'm glad yours was good, Bro Rose. I'm glad you had a good Monday. Good morning, by the way. Oh, thanks, Jelly Star. I appreciate that. No one really saw it. I mean, other than the internet. The internet saw it. But I spent most of yesterday inside of a dark corner of a boba shop working. Word up, Isadora. Time zones are fascinating. They certainly are. I still don't have a Switch. But I saw some video about like an Alienware handheld that I kind of wanted. If it actually ends up happening. The Switch's processing power out. Staring it up. The Switch does have IP, but the Nintendo doesn't actually have many IPs that I care about in 2020. If I'm being honest. Crap, where was I? Forgot where I was. Let's just pretend I finished that song. Guys, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, which means it's trash day, which means at some point throughout the stream there are going to be several garbage trucks that come in and kind of make it very noisy. So bear with me through that. Also, thank you for being here in the first place. Yeah, I think I came to terms recently with Nintendo and me. I've talked about this at length in the stream, but Nintendo doesn't actually have um, a lot of IPs I care about. As an adult Omni, I guess. A lot of IPs I cared about at one point, but not a lot of new, interesting IPs for me. I feel like PlayStation seems to get like new, interesting things pretty often. I'm not exactly playing PlayStation to play Crash Bandicoot or even Uncharted anymore. I'm just kind of playing it for interesting games. And I feel like Nintendo, for me, relies so heavily on Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and Fire Emblem, which are games I don't enjoy. And so it's like when I get rid of all of those, what's left? Animal Crossing, which I also don't play. It's just a great library of games I happen to not be interested in. So the Alienware handheld might be better for me. Better being a very vague term. More enjoyable. There we go. They do have third-party games like Overwatch. I did mention Animal Crossing. Yeah, Skyrim and Overwatch I can play on other things though, so it kind of defeats the purpose of me getting a Switch because I already have consoles that can play those games. Um, that's why I was kind of specifically talking about games that they just had on their own. I also felt like the indie games, while being cool, most of the indie games that I really cared about on it, I could also get other places like Steam or the PlayStation Store. Because a lot of the indie games that I cared about, that people were really selling me on for it, like Hollow Knight, for example, were on other consoles. The only thing I can no, because I also played that on another console. I can't really think of too many indie games that are exclusive to Switch um, that I've been interested in. Although there's hundreds, thousands of games, so I'm sure there's something out there maybe that's exclusive to Switch. Um, I just don't know about it. I feel like the gaming market in general is pretty stagnant. I don't know, says Leanna. Okay. Stagnant can mean a lot of things. I'll go ahead and agree with you. I think that there are certain things about the gaming market right now that are stagnant. Sure, absolutely. A lot of regurgitation of things that are successful, right? Nobody's taking big risks, at least on the AAA platform. That's kind of been the case for like 20 years now. But yeah, even though Apex is new, it's kind of just a regurgitation of the Battle Royale model, which is, Fortnite and PUBG and so many other games. And even when a new thing comes out, it's just a new Mario game or a new Pokemon game or a new Animal Crossing game. It's just more of the same. So yeah, in that way, the gaming industry definitely feels pretty stagnant right now. New systems are going to be announced. Are going to get announced soon. They're probably holding off on announcing really big stuff for now. Very true, Jelly Sir. Very true. I think that I talked to somebody recently. Somebody recently about EDM. They talked about EDM don't necessarily like EDM, but it took them a long time to realize they didn't like EDM because they used to, and now they just kind of keep going to shows and keep going to festivals and keep listening to what's there because it's become kind of like a part of their identity, and they haven't taken a step back to reevaluate what it is they actually like in music. That can happen to all of us, right? Sometimes you lose sight of what it is you actually care about because you're doing what you've always been doing. I think that was me with Nintendo. I don't hate Nintendo at all. Nintendo was the first console I ever played. You know, the first handheld I ever owned. A lot of those games, Mario, Donkey Kong, Pokemon, those were like my entry, right? Street Fighter. Oh, Street Fighter. Anyways, yeah, so I totally was like a Nintendo kid. And then I got older and I got the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, all that stuff. And then the Wii came out, and I didn't even get one. I didn't like it. I didn't like the controller or anything. I was like, and there weren't any games for the Wii that I necessarily wanted to play. So no, I didn't play Wii Fit, for the person asking about the Wii stuff. In fact, I didn't even get a Wii until I moved out here to California. And that was kind of more retroactively just so I could play Brawl with some friends that were always coming over. But they kept coming out with new Nintendo consoles, and with each new Nintendo console, there was a new Mario game and a new Zelda game and a new Pokemon thing. And gradually, I started realizing about myself, I don't really like Pokemon anymore. There was a time where Pokemon was my entire identity. You know, I loved Pokemon, but I can't honestly say that I, stay up at night waiting for the new Pokemon announcement or game to be released. And that isn't to say Pokemon's bad. It's just kind of like I personally kind of grew out of it, and I grew in a different direction. Not like I grew up out of it. I just grew away from it, if that makes sense. And then they kept announcing more like Mario games, and I kind of realized I don't really like Mario very much anymore either. And then Donkey Kong, I kind of fell out of Donkey Kong. Last Donkey Kong game I enjoyed, maybe the last Donkey Kong game that even quote unquote mattered, was Donkey Kong 64, and that was a lot of fun. So I kind of stopped caring about Donkey Kong as much, stopped caring about Mario, stopped caring about Pokemon. Never really liked games like Animal Crossing. And so when I see, it's almost like Dragon Ball Z, right? If I see imagery of Dragon Ball Z, it elicits good feelings because I remember or harken back to a time where I loved Dragon Ball Z. But if Dragon Ball Z came out today, there's no way I would watch it. It's kind of a nostalgia thing for me. And so most of Nintendo's library is that for me. I don't really like or care about Zelda anymore, but it keeps happening. And I don't really like or care about Mario anymore, but it keeps happening. Same for all of their other franchises, their IPs. And it's kind of sad because I feel like it's no one's fault, right? Companies want to make money, and they know that if they put like Mario's face on something, it'll make money. In the same way that Assassin's Creed kind of just keeps pooping out new Assassin's Creed games and Call of Duty and whatnot. But I feel like owning a PlayStation, I own a PlayStation by the way, I feel like owning a PlayStation, I'm at least exposed to slightly more funded original games than if I had a Nintendo console. And some of the games that they were kind of just like pooping out, like right, PlayStation had Metal Gear that it was kind of pooping out for a while. And they had Uncharted, which I actually did enjoy a lot. I think that I just stopped enjoying the Nintendo things, and I look at Nintendo Switch, right, and it's such a cool idea, right? This mobile console, you can connect it to a TV, you can take the controllers off so you can play with friends. It's such a cool concept, a cool design, but it doesn't have the library to make me drop $300 on it, right? For me personally, it doesn't have the library for me personally to make me drop $300 on it. It's just not for me. In the same way that to Legoland doesn't have the amount of attractions in it to justify the ticket cost for me. Burrow says, like, what library would you want to put on the Switch then? I wouldn't want to put any library on the Switch. See, the problem is, I would want there to be an original library on the Switch that interests me. Because if I put the PlayStation's library on the Switch, that I already have a PlayStation. There's no point in buying a Switch. I don't want to port somebody else's successful and interesting library to the Switch. I would like for the Switch to have a library that is interesting to me. Yeah, that makes sense. Something that I couldn't just run to Steam and play, or something that I couldn't just grab on the PlayStation Store already. But I think the Switch itself saved the library, right? Like, forget the library. The Switch as a piece of gear, piece of hardware, is really cool. And I want, like, I've argued with myself over buying it several times, because I can buy one, but I've always said, once I buy one, then what? What do I do with it? It's not really a multimedia device by choice, right? They make it so I can't necessarily stream Netflix on it or check any, I can't open apps on it or anything like that. So it has to just have good games at that point. I can't use it for anything else, right? Even when there's not really great things happening on my PlayStation library, my PlayStation still has like a bunch of stuff on it that I can do. And the PSP was great, man. See, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like if you're making a piece of gear that has no other functions really other than playing games, the games, for me personally, the one paying for it, have to be amazing. And for me personally, the games are not amazing. And it's really sad because when I see people with Switches, I'm always like, oh, I wish I had a Switch. I want to play. But then it will be just like $300 flushed down the toilet for me. But that's a realization I had to come to very recently. Because honestly, if I didn't know that about myself, I probably would have just wasted the money and just had it lying around collecting dust in my living room. Or maybe bought games just to justify the purchase of the console. Oh, you have to pay for the online thing too. Yeah, I'm not trying to turn this stream into just like bashing the Switch. The problem is I don't enjoy Splatoon, and I know that's really divisive. I don't really enjoy it. When Skew and Beck were out here in LA, I played with them, and even before that, when I was up in the Bay, I played with... Who was I playing with then? Chelsea and Levi? I don't really like Splatoon. I think it's a very, very good game that I just don't enjoy playing. I don't enjoy that type of shooter, I guess. Reason why I got the Nintendo Switch was originally the Breath of the Wild device, but now I use it to play lots and lots of undies. I'm assuming indies. Like Cuphead and Enter the Gungeon. Cuphead is fun. I have played that without a Switch. But I guess also, I'm glad that it's also on the Switch. Cuphead. I'm glad that you have one, though. I love the style of Splatoon, but I haven't played. The game concept doesn't interest me. Yeah, the style is really cool. I do not want to play Undertale, but everybody does keep trying to get me to play Undertale. I have no interest in Undertale, and from what I've seen of people playing it, it just doesn't interest me, even a little bit. But I believe everybody that it is a good game. That's the thing that's kind of sad, right? Because games take time. Games take time, so they have to really, truly look and feel and sound interesting for somebody to want to give time, hours into the game. Even 1 hour. Something like a song, you can kind of listen to a song in its entirety. You can complete a song and then go, I didn't really like it very much. But to complete a game and then say I don't really like it very much, you've had to have, dedicated a lot of time to it. So it's a big ask. But I will not be playing Undertale. Or Deltarune. What is it? Delta Ring? I think that's what it's called. Time is exactly why I have the Switch. I'm always working and barely have time to sit down and play the PS4. Right. The Switch is great for portability, but again, it has to have games I want to play, or else it's not really saving me any time, is it? Because if the games I want to play are, I don't know, Apex Legends, or Metal Gear, or Death Stranding, I can't buy a Switch and go, oh, good, thank goodness I can play Death Stranding on the go. Because, well, it's not on the Switch. It's not on the Switch, is it? Which, by the way, Death Stranding was an amazing game. I loved that game. Hello, Alpha. Me too. Honestly, if the Switch had applications, they probably have one now. Do you know a remixer DJ known as VGR? No, I do not. Oh, I'm aware of this, Jelly Star. I mean, didn't it not handle Overwatch very well? Honestly, when Nintendo was like, we're gonna be announcing a different version of the Switch, I thought that they were gonna announce. I thought they were gonna announce a Switch Lite and a Switch Pro at the same time, like they have done in the past. And I was eager to see if the Switch Pro's build was going to be better because I don't like how cheap the Switch feels in my hands. I would like something that feels a little bit sturdier, where the Joy-Cons don't feel like they're made, in 5 minutes. Mm. But they didn't announce a Switch Pro. But maybe if one gets truly announced, maybe it will have a better build, which would be nice. But I mean, I would still need good games in order to play it. Sorry, games I'm interested in. When you say good games, it implies the entire library is bad, which is not my intention. Saying the Joy-Cons are indestructible is simply not true, because I've seen somebody break them. And not by trying to, either. The Joy-Cons are not indestructible, and the drift issue, which exists, is an issue. Is an issue. See, this sounds like a stream where I'm just beating up on the Switch. The Switch has issues. Issues that prevent me from playing it. That's the bottom line. The PlayStation has issues. Issues that do not prevent me from playing it. Me personally. Word. Ooh. The Pro can... Oh my goodness. I don't like the idea of having to buy extra things for a console to make it playable. And if I'm getting like a Pro controller, I feel like for me personally, not for anybody, but for me personally, that defeats the whole portability. Because I don't want to sit on the subway with a Switch and then a Pro controller, like, also. It's a bit. It's a lot. It's a lot for me. I was playing Double Let's. like this conversation has just been about Switch and PlayStation. I don't have an Xbox anymore. I was an Xbox 360 person, but I left Xbox during the current gen. I don't even like having my phone on the board, says Leanna. I don't like having my body on the BART, okay? And I love public transportation. I hate the BART. I hate the BART. I think the BART is the only U.S. train I've ever strongly disliked. I hate the BART. I love the L.A. subway. I love the New York subway. I love Chicago's trains, Atlanta's trains. I haven't been on the trains in Boston, but I've heard they're okay. But yeah, screw the BART. Okay, so I had a song a while ago called Clover Salad. And I forgot it. But I was playing an old video of mine from last year, and I saw myself playing it, so I'm trying to relearn it by ear. There it is. Wow. Oh, I remember the song now. The song's called Clover Salad. I don't remember how it ends, but maybe I never wrote an ending to it. I think I was in the process of making it when I forgot it. That's sad. If you saw my Instagram stories last night, you might have seen that I reorganized or rearranged, as we say, the chord progression for my remix of Talk by Khalid. What a convoluted sentence. I basically changed the remix I made to these chords. I'm trying to do bass lines that rise now instead of fall. A good example is because it uses roughly the same chords, and also the same Rhodes piano sound. If you think about my Gucci Gang remix, or simply the song that I made called Gucci. Sorry. A lot of my bass lines were always falling. There it is. And this is true for most of my songs. Even if you think about like signal songs, you think about well, the song Signals. If you listen, the chords are always falling. The chords always go down. I very rarely have chords come up because it always sounds weird. To me personally, it sounds like. Actually, that sounds really pretty, but let's pretend I didn't just happen upon some pretty chords. Let's pretend that that sounded really bad for a second. Usually chords going up sounds really weird to me. Also, I'm usually playing the melody here, and so if the chords come up onto the melody has to go up, and somehow a melody constantly rising doesn't give me the same like resolve, me anyway. Um, and so I typically go down. Even in the times where it looks like I'm going up, I'm kind of generally trending downward. Do you spend most of your time doing music? Depends on the day. Depends on the day. So if we have a song like Love Letters, right? That's going down. Down. Always going down. And then even in the like the bridge section or whatever you want to call it. It's still trending downwards, even though the chords do come up at a second from here to here. That is higher. It's still trending downwards because this is where we start and this is where we end. So it's moving up, but it's still trending downwards. I know maybe this makes no sense. Maybe this is just nonsense to you guys. But I'm trying to change that. Like if you get into a rut or a habit, depending on your outlook, of doing the same thing over and over, and you feel trapped in it, sometimes counteracting some of your most natural bass instincts can give you a different sound, but also still make you sound like yourself, because you're still going to go to what is natural to you, but you can just add an extra like counteraction there. So obviously my counteraction is that I want chords that go up, but having whole chords that go up is very, I don't like the way it sounds. So instead of having chords that go up, I have a bass line that goes up, while the chords kind of just play around the bass, where this would be the first note. Oh wait, hold on. Somebody said something by Sam Smith. I'm not gonna remix a Sam Smith song. At least not anytime soon. I apologize. I already remixed a Sam Smith song, so I don't really like remixing songs by the same people over and over. I had a whole stream about that. I feel like it's like circling a very specific basket that I kind of don't want to find myself in. But this will be the first note of the bass. Oh, I should play the old chords to give you some context. So the old chords for the Can I Just Talk remix, or Talk remix, where... And so the bass was dropping. And so to counteract that, I have the bass rising. So I start on that note, and I just rise up from there. So the entire bass line is... last one. We can drop it down a little bit for that, but with the chords, it's something that's also interesting to me because I mean I'm just now learning a little bit about like notes, like what note, like I know this is an A now, so how about that? I'm a genius. So I'm learning a little bit about notes, but as far as chords, I just know what chords sound like to me. And I know obviously we've all heard music our whole lives, right? Everywhere from like maybe you heard music in church, maybe you heard music in a shopping mall, maybe you heard it in your house because your family was music enthusiasts. But certain chords will have a very specific sound. Certain rhythms have a very specific sound. Right? Like if I play that like waltzy rhythm, it can mean a lot of things. But the way that I play it always makes me think of the movie Amelie, which had a lot of French folk music in it. So essentially, my waltz rhythm has a French folk like sound. And I don't know what those called. That's called. You know what those notes are called. But I know what my brain associates them with. In the same way that a lot of people, when they come into the stream and they'll hear my rhythmic version of "I Miss You," that one. When people hear that, they'll think, "Oh, Nintendo Wii" a lot. And I've talked about it in streams a lot, where a lot of people associate bossa nova rhythms and like South American jazz rhythms to Nintendo because a lot of the composers of Nintendo games were inspired by Brazilian jazz and bossa nova. I'm not going to dig too deep into it in this stream, but when I play this chord, it sounds very churchy to me. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church. Don't go to church anymore, but that was kind of my moral background for a really long time. And so I listened to a lot of gospel music, not by choice, but because that was just what we did once a week. And that chord elicits a lot of those gospel vibes for me. Now, I don't know what's happening in this chord. I'm sure this chord has a really cool, fun name and a really cool, fun purpose. And maybe I'll learn about it later in my education and music theory. But I know that it is the only chord that does that in this entire progression. So I don't know what the other chords are doing. This and this are kind of just the same chord with a different bass note under it, whatever. But those are the new chords for the Talk remix. I'm going to actually record this song today because I did most of the recording of the progressions and percussion last night. But today I need to. I'm not wearing a watch. Today I need to finish the full arrangement. It's Tuesday, and then I'm gonna go downtown because it's Tuesday, and Tuesday's free boba day at Toasty, and it's also $2 sliced pizza day at Pizzanista, and it's also just the day that I like to get some downtown time. I try to spend a lot more time on the train on Tuesdays, so I'll probably be out of the house, hopefully, for most of it. Oh, I need to go to the library too. I need to renew that book before I get slapped with late fees. All right, everybody. Bored you a little bit with some weird jargon on me rearranging chords so that they rise instead of fall. So thank you for indulging me in that. We're at minute 45, so we've got 15 minutes left of the stream. If there is a specific Omni Boy song you wanted to hear, you can feel free to ask for it now. If it indeed has a piano version. Not all of my songs have piano versions. But until somebody asks for one, I'm going to play... Oh, Baby Be Less. Yeah, I can do Baby Be Less. Is that song played with piano or Rhodes? If I'm playing a song from Tall Tales, I'm going to be playing Beneath the City. This song is called Baby Be Less. It's on my mixtape called West Street. Goodbye, Isidora. Good luck on your flight. You're always traveling around. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. That was Baby Be Less. Somebody asked for Catching Up. Unfortunately, Catching Up doesn't really go anywhere, but that's Catching Up. What else did somebody ask for? Somebody asked for something else. Burroughs asked for something from Tall Tales. I'm gonna play Beneath the City. Somebody asked for Catch Your Fire. I'm a one to catch your fire. Wow, that's off of Love Dream. Somebody has listened to Love Dream? That's about 4 years old. Maybe 5? This is Beneath the City. It's a song off of Tall Tales. If you haven't heard Tall Tales, please listen to Tall Tales. It was experimental for me back then. If you listen to it now, it's not going to sound too experimental, but you'll hear where a lot of my ideas have come from. called Beneath the City. Burroughs said something that is a lot. Hey man, I'm absolutely happy you made Ego Death and Breath. Quick Breath. Thank you, by the way, Burroughs. I forgot the names, but I'm happy you're going to do merch soon and slowly work on Speed Dream and overall continue your career. Because I started listening to your music once I heard your Bad and Bougie remix, and I've been a fan ever since. I live in Long Beach. Oh, I know Long Beach. I spent a lot of time in Long Beach, specifically in downtown area around the Pike. But I hope you will one day perform there. I would love to see you play. You know, I have performed in Long Beach before. Is that a tie collection in the background? Yes, Marcus, that is a bow tie collection. That's about 1/4 of it. There's another rack on the other wall. Will you come to France someday, says someone. I would love to come to France someday. I have a friend in France who also makes music. Maybe I should talk to him. Yeah, maybe. I've actually never performed in Europe at all. Most of my out-of-country shows have been in Asia. But I would love to perform really anywhere. In France, I mean, I have family in France. So if I performed there, I would at least have a place to stay for free. Maybe I should go. Those were all the requests as far as songs go. I do like Beneath the City. Beneath the City is maybe one of my oldest songs. Maybe one of my oldest songs. I just don't because it had existed for years before I even recorded that. I wrote that song in a subway. There are a lot of times where I'll write songs when I don't have instruments around me. You ever thought of dyeing your hair? It says Alpha. I've thought about it, but I really like the way my black hair looks, so I never went through with it. I don't think I want to dye my hair enough to actually do it. But yeah, sometimes I'll write songs when I don't even have my gear around. For example, Beneath the City was written in a New York subway, and I didn't have my keyboards with me. Sometimes you can just come up with sometimes I'll hum like a melody into my voice recorder in my phone, and then I'll come back later and actually finish it and make it a full song. And that's how that song was made. However, if you listen to Beneath the City, the song that I'm going to end this stream with in a few minutes, that song was written in a hotel room, but I did have my gear with me. I did have my keyboard. So I was able to write it while looking out at the city. Really inspired me as an artist and a label owner. Oh, no way, you're a label owner. Congratulations. That's a very difficult thing to own. Like a home or a wardrobe. Owner, keep a lookout for your name. Oh, for our name. Word up. Sure thing. Thank you. I appreciate the support, by the way. You might already answered this question. How do you write songs? Because I think one of my mentioned before, you don't know music theory too well. Right, Marcus. What does Ausla mean? Ausla is the name of a music label, Burroughs. It's the label that Skrillex owns. And there's a few other people on it that I really like. Vendada was a big one. How do you write music if you don't know music theory? That is such a good question. It's such a good question. Question asker. See, we don't need to write music anymore. In fact, if you go to most music producers and you show them MIDI, most of them are going to be able to know the MIDI and understand the MIDI more than they will traditional score sheets, with a bunch of quarter notes and junk on them. And so the way I'm able to write music is because I have a DAW. And when you work in a DAW, being able to read music just doesn't come up as much as you would think it does. Goodbye, Bro Rose. Thank you for being in the stream. Appreciate you. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. But yeah, when you're working in Ableton or FL Studio, or you're working in, I don't know, Reason or Logic, none of those things require you to know how to read and write music in order to write music. And so when I write music, it's really just arranging or composition on my computer or laptop. Anything you've heard, Marcus, I don't know if you actually listen to my music, but if you have heard something by me on, say, Spotify or iTunes or something like that, those things were made in a computer. Those weren't made I never had to put pen to paper writing on a score sheet. So that's how I write and record music when I'm actually in my studio. And a lot of the ways that I write music when I'm away from my instruments is I'll usually hum it into something. I'll hum it into um, some type of voice recorder app, usually on my cell phone, because that's what I have on me at all times. So I'll record it into my phone, and then I'll come home and suss it out on the piano. Um, for example, what's a song that I've made? Well, you've been in the stream. I played songs that I made in the beginning, like Double Lutz, or Over and Under, or Signals. I mean, Spring Street. That is a song that I've made or written. Usually we use the terminology right when we talk about creating a song. Whether or not we actually had pencil to paper or pen to paper or went and got score sheets or knew how to read and quote unquote write music or much about music theory. It's just the term write and create are kind of used interchangeably when it comes to songs. Kind of like produce when it comes to beats. People don't usually say, oh, I wrote a beat, even though technically you could write a beat if you had, a rhythm. If you were writing a rhythm on a score sheet, you could write a beat, but people usually use the term produce a beat, or I created a beat. Same thing for songs. We use the terms write. Oh, I wrote a song. I'm a songwriter. If somebody wanted a songwriter, I'm a songwriter. Do I know how to actually write as far as music theory goes? No. Like the song I just played, Spring Street, I wrote that song. But are you going to find it in sheet music anywhere? No, because it doesn't exist. So that is, in effect, how I write music, Marcus. Good question. Very good question. Guys, it is Tuesday, which means it's garbage day. I was expecting the garbage truck to come sometime throughout the stream and interrupt the stream, but it never did. So, I guess lucky us. Usually, it does. This song's called Hush Hour. A music video for it exists here on my YouTube if you care to see how it's played or see where I was when I wrote it. It's the song that I play at the end of the stream every weekday. It's so weird. I can hear a car honking in the background, and the weird honking combined with my playing is like very confusing. Sonically confusing. It's like a weird dissonance, I guess. You know what I just realized? I didn't go over news. So, put a hold on Hush Hour. I'm going to go over news very, very fast. So I don't waste too much time. There are no shows booked right now. I played a show on New Year's Eve here in Los Angeles, and that was the last recorded show that I did play. I think a performance of it is still up on Twitch. I'll link to it in my Instagram story. If you follow me on Instagram, stay tuned for that. As far as songs and releases, I did release 2 albums last year. One is called Quick Breath, and the other one is called Ego Death. You can hear them both on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Groove, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. As far as merch is going to be coming this year. And as far as streams, the streams happen here every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Today is Tuesday, so we have 3 more left. We have 3 more left this week. Now back to Hush Hour. I wrote this song in Hong Kong on my last tour in Asia. I had a really long layover in Hong Kong, like one of those layovers where the airline actually pays for your hotel. And so I kind of messed around in the city, and this song was inspired by a lot of the imagery that I was seeing. Specifically for my hotel room, though, for this one. respectful to me and polite to each other. Um, Also, if you were in my Instagram group chat yesterday, thank you also for being very respectful and polite in the chat. I appreciated that, even though the chat has been dissolved, at least from my end. But thank you everybody in the stream for being respectful and polite to each other. It is Tuesday, so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, whatever. That sounds like the beginning of that that Curb Your Enthusiasm track. Anyways, it's Tuesday. Please enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'm going to be enjoying mine, or at least trying my best to do so. Um, I'll see you guys here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for another morning medley. How about everybody? Bum, bum, bum.